Scott here with the new My Monthly Hero June 2021 card kit. Looks like we are all puppies and kittens and birthdays this month. Let's take a look at our 6x8 inch stamp set. That looks like we've got 8 puppies and kittens, 4 dogs, 4 cats, birthday cakes, birthday slices, presents, balloons. Of course, we've got this puppy and this kitten with their arms up, obviously holding on to balloons. We've got a few sentiments here, a couple of puns sending birthday whiskers. You're positively amazing. Let's get the party started. You lift me up, perfect for the balloons, and a happy birthday over here. Really cute puppies, really cute kittens. I don't think I have any dedicated dog and cat stamp sets in my stash. Of course, we get coordinating frame cuts for all of our stamps. We've got a little goodie bag this month too. We've got a new ink pad. This is Hero Art's Light Mint Green. We also have a new lacquer pen. This is the Sparkle Clear lacquer pen. Look at all the sparkle in that. I really love Hero Art's lacquer pens. And then we also get some round clay sprinkles, confetti. Some nice little round confetti, bright birthday colors there. That's everything in our kit this month. Looks like we are celebrating some birthdays this month with the help of some kittens and puppies. And here we have our 10 cards using the My Monthly Hero June 2021 kit. I am sorry this is a little late this month. I got called to grand jury duty on the 8th. And it is hard to feel creative after 8 full days of crime and mayhem. One more day to go, and my civic duty will be fulfilled for another 4 years, hopefully longer. Let's get right into our cards. Now, I recently picked up some Stonehenge white cardstock from the suggestion of Sandy Alnock that she likes to use Stonehenge white when she's working with colored pencils. So I thought I would use my new Stonehenge white cardstock and my colored pencils, my Prismacolor pencils, and color some of these images up. I stamped all of the images using Hero Art's Intense Black ink on some Stonehenge white cardstock and used my Prismacolor colored pencils and just started coloring. Sometimes I find that this is a great way to gin up some inspiration without any pressure to actually make cards. I tell you, I'm quite impressed with that Stonehenge white cardstock. It seems to just grab the color from your colored pencils, has a really nice texture. It feels kind of furry on these cute critters. Of course, I die cut all of the images too. And though I don't do it very often, I really like these colored and die cut images placed on top of the stamp set. It really brings these stamp sets to life. Okay, let's get into some cards. How about a slimline card to kick us off? So for my first card, we have a You Lift Me Up card. Now this is a standard slimline card, 8.5 inches long by 3.5 inches wide. So that cardstock is cut to 8.5 by 7 inches and scored on the 7-inch side to make a 3.5 inch card. I ink blended the clouds using a My Favorite Things Cloud Edges stencil and some Splash Reactive ink, just light clouds in the background. I stamped the sentiment using that same splash ink and embossed that with clear embossing powder. I cut our background to 3 inches wide by 8 inches tall and added it to a thin mat that was 8 1/8 by 3 1/8. Added that to a thin mat of Hero Hues Mist cardstock. I thought that went very well with the splash ink. Glued those down to my slimline card base, and then I added our little collage here on top using foam tape. Now, when I combine die-cut images together, I like to trim away the white border where the images overlap. You can see here where his hands are, there's no white border between his hands and the kitten's leg. Here on the balloons, you can see there's no border where that string is in this kitten's paw. So I just trim away the borders where they overlap and trying to get a solid white border around our whole die cut. Makes it look very clean and almost like that was just one big gigantic stamp. I thought since our pup had 2 arms up in the air, that was the perfect place for him to grab onto our little kitten, holding onto that big bag of balloons. Yes, you lift me up. And those 3 images really fill up this Slimline card quite nicely. So this kit is leaning heavily on the birthday theme, so let's roll with it. Heaven knows I always need some birthday cards in my stash. For card number 2, we have Sending Birthday Whiskers, with our fun little cat on her back offering us a piece of rainbow birthday cake. So on a Nina 110-pound card base, I ink blended a little lemon drop ink on the background there, just above the center, very lightly, and I stamped the sentiment using intense black ink, and I did emboss that sentiment with some clear embossing powder for just a little bit of shine there. I combined our 2 images together, taking care to trim away the excess border on the cake plate. You can see that the cake plate border is trimmed away. Those are cut away. So again, the white border just seems to continue around the whole thing. There's no white border between our kitten's paw and the cake plate. I think that really makes a combination of die cut images work really nicely and look like they were all meant to go together. A few of the round clay sprinkles adds to the party atmosphere, and I don't even mind this false pun, sending birthday whiskers. That's kind of cute, though I do believe that is a false pun. I do think I would be hard-pressed to use that sentiment with one of the puppy stamps, because I guess I think of cats as having whiskers, and I don't really think of dogs as having whiskers. I know they do, but I don't think you really talk about it, do you? Anyway, sending birthday whiskers, presenting you with a lovely piece of rainbow birthday cake. And then we have that kitten sitting up and licking her paw. She must have gotten into something, maybe the birthday cake. Our next card here is a happy birthday card featuring the kitten, the cake, a party hat, and another balloon there. Now, I die cut some plain red, yellow, and blue cardstock from my stash with the Hero Arts Infinity Circle dies, glued those down to my white card base. I stamped the sentiment using Candied Apple Distress Oxide ink, and I did emboss that with some clear embossing powder. There, you can see that shine there. I then glued the cake and the hat and the balloon string flat down to the cardstock, and then I added our little kitten with some foam tape. Now, when they're not necessarily reacting with each other, I don't really mind the border around each one of the images. I think that since they're layered on top of each other, you don't really need to worry about those extra borders around. I did put a piece of foam tape behind the balloon here to give it some dimension, and I also added some of the sparkle clear lacquer from our kit to that balloon. I don't know if you can see that pretty well there. Nice sparkle with that lacquer pen. Brightened up that balloon. Nice and shiny. I added some more of the round clay sprinkles. I really like those little embellishments. And the kitten even has a touch of purple icing on her left paw there. Yum, happy birthday. I thought some of these puppy stamps in this set were like the cutest stamps I've ever seen in my life. On my 4th card, we've got a simple hi card featuring those 2 fun puppies. Oh, I think this is just adorable. It gives me a great big grin every time I look at it. So continuing along with my colored pencil practice, I cut a piece of that Stonehenge white cardstock with a Lawn Fawn stitched rectangle die and colored in the background using my Prismacolored pencils, taking care to work on this shadow. They both have nice shadows underneath them. Again, that Stonehenge white cardstock really just loves colored pencils, and I thought it was quite easy to do this simple background behind the 2 of them. I stamped the sentiment again with splash ink and did add some clear embossing powder to give that a little shine. I glued our background panel down to a piece of, this is Lawn Fawn Gotta Have Gingham pattern paper from quite a while ago. Gave that a nice mat of that gingham paper, glued that down to my white card base, and then mounted both of the pups with some foam tape. Hi, it's so good to see you. I don't think anybody could receive this card and stifle a big old grin. Hi. And we have more punny sentiments in our stamp set. And the simple fact that these two stamps are looking at each other on the stamp set kind of made me feel like I had to use them both on a card. And we've got You're Positively Amazing with our puppy and a little Siamese cat. The background here is a piece of gray cardstock, plain old Staples gray cardstock that I stamped this background pattern on. This is a Carta Bella, a designer diamond A2 stamp. I don't think these are available anymore. If you can find one, let me know. I really like this background stamp. It's acrylic, so it's not big and thick. I stamped that on the gray cardstock using some sea salt reactive ink from Hero Arts. I didn't want it to be too white, and I thought the sea salt would add a little bit of a kind of a metallic feel to that. I think it looks very much like a chain link fence. Once that was all dried, I die cut that with a Lawn Fawn stitched rectangle die. I stamped the sentiment again with intense black ink and then embossed that with some clear embossing powder. I did stamp an extra puppy here on some more Stonehenge and colored him with my colored pencils. I colored him up so he would kind of match our little Siamese cat here. Added them both to our card front with some foam tape and then added a little white heart brad. I know you're saying that's white. It looks gray because of the gray background, but I swear to heavens that's an actual white heart brad. I did add a nice medium-sized black mat behind our background, glued that down to a white card front. You're Positively Amazing. I would imagine a puppy and a kitten would think both of them were pretty amazing. So I started wondering if one of these pets could really wreak some true disaster on a birthday party. I mean, we're approaching it here with this kit, but I wanted to see if I could create a true disaster on another white card base. We have another Sending Birthday Whiskers with our kitten right in the middle of the birthday cake. I'm not sure if kittens have a sweet tooth, but this one certainly does. This is quite a mess. I stamped a new kitten and 3 birthday cakes on some Nina 80-pound cardstock and colored those all with my Spectrum Noir alcohol markers. Then I took the cakes and started cutting them all up, mashing them into different pieces. I took some darts in some of our main pieces here so I could show them kind of squashed down by the cat sitting on them. An extra piece of cake is sitting in the kitty's lap. An extra piece is laying on the side. I did take care to extinguish the flames on our little candles so we weren't in danger of burning the house down. I thought this came out quite nicely. I was very pleased with the havoc that this kitten has wreaked on our birthday cake. This is another piece of that Lawn Fawn gingham cardstock in the back. I just added a little bit of alcohol marker to give us a little bit of an edge to that, a little bit of ground for the cat and the cake to hang on. A few round clay sprinkles are vainly trying to keep the party going, but this kitten, who has a whole pink paw filled with icing, a green spot on her left hand, oh yes, Sending Birthday Whiskers. I hope the animals don't destroy your birthday cake like that, even with a pink cake. Now we have those 2 paw prints in our stamp set, and I couldn't look at those without thinking of this classic old sympathy phrase: dogs leave paw prints on our hearts forever. I'm very pleased with this. I think the rainbow paw prints allude to the rainbow bridge that our pets pass over when they leave us, and the open paw prints kind of illustrate an absence there. I stamped our little rainbow paw arch using grape slush, blue Hawaii, green apple, lemon drop, creamsicle, and fruit punch reactive inks. I stamped this whole card by hand. I'm very proud of myself. I didn't use my MISTI at all. I did print this sentiment on this cardstock using an old clip art file of mine and my Silhouette software. Printed that on our card front. I did trim this down with a Hero Arts rounded rectangle infinity die, added a thin black mat behind that, glued that down to my white card base, and then added some of the sparkle clear lacquer pen on all of the open paw prints on this. Dogs leave paw prints on our hearts forever. A great pet sympathy card. Now, this one puppy stamp, who appears to be laying on his back, was not giving me much inspiration at all. I thought about putting him on a pillow. I thought about putting him on a bed. Finally, I decided that since he has actually one paw up in the air there, that I could get away with sending him floating with a batch of balloons again. And I've never made a mini slimline card before, so I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to experiment with that form. This is a mini slimline card, and we've got a happy birthday card, more balloons, more pups, and a nice bone gift. It's a mini slimline card. This is 3 inches by 6 inches. Now, I stamped and colored 3 more balloons, the same as the others, but I cut off their stamp strings in favor of some baker's twine strings, just wrapped around the little balloon nipples. Now, I cut this bow away from the gift and attached it to the bone and tied the red balloon to that. That makes that bone a perfect little birthday gift. And I attached the strings of the other 2 balloons to our little puppy's paw right there. And I didn't want to do clouds in the background again, so I found this pattern paper. This is an old Altenew pattern paper set, like watercolor dots. And I thought that would work really well, except for the fact that those watercolor dots were actually on a white background. So I took some of that splash ink and ink blended over that entire pattern paper and colored the background white. I think that brings it into the sky realm very nicely and helps to highlight our puppy and balloons and gift. Happy birthday stamped in intense black ink and of course embossed with some clear embossing powder again. I added a thin blue mat behind my background. I attached everything to the card front using foam tape. Very pleased with this. This is such an adorable size card. This is the first mini slimline card I've used, and it really is just a cute size. I hate to say that, but I really get a big kick out of the size of this card. But I was thinking, you know, a regular slimline card can be mailed in a number 10 business envelope, but I don't think there are any readily available envelopes for a mini slimline card. So I started looking around to see if I could find instructions on how to make an envelope for a mini slimline card. And of course, I found plenty of companies that are selling mini slimline envelopes and a number of companies that have dies to make a mini slimline envelope. But I thought I could come up with a way to cut and fold a mini slimline envelope. Here we go. To make a mini slimline card envelope, I start with a piece of cardstock that is 7 inches by 7 3/4 inches. 7 by 7 3/4. Then on the 7-inch side, the 7-inch side is at the top of your score pal. We're going to score at 1 7/8 of an inch. That's 1 tick to the left of 2, 1 7/8 inches, and at 5 1/8 of an inch. That's just 1/8 past your 5. 5 1/8, that's 1 7/8, 5 1/8. Then we're going to turn it to the longer side, the 7 3/4 inch side, and we're going to score a 1/2 inch on the left side, and 1 inch on the right side. So our right side is 7 3/4 of an inch. We're going to score that at 1 inch. So that's 6 3/4 of an inch. You could just rotate this and do a single inch on the other side, or you can leave it right here, score that at 6 3/4, and of course that 1/2 inch mark. That's on your long side. And now we have these corners in our 4 corners that we are going to cut away. Along the bottom, I like to just cut just a slight angle on the sides and a slight angle at the bottom. Do that on both sides. This bottom flap is going, this middle flap here is going to fold up and make the bottom of our envelope. And then for the top, you can take a little bit more of an angle to cut off your corner pieces. I'll do that on the two sides. I can go a little bit more with that one, up to where your score lines cross, and then we'll do a nice angle on the center tab, which is going to be the flap that closes your envelope. That's what we're looking for. That will fold itself into a nice little mini slimline envelope. So let's commit these creases, fold all of these, use your bone folder to fold them down. This comes together so quickly. Now you can use score tape on these seams, but in hopes of saving some time, I will use my tape glider and just commit that seam right there. We'll fold up the bottom here, fold it over, and then add some tape to that. Fold that up. We'll do the same with the top, but we won't attach it until we actually put our card in it. There's an envelope for a mini slimline card, perfectly sized for your 3" by 6" mini slimline cards. And of course, it's fun that it matches the card, and the 3 by 6" card fits in there just brilliantly. I really love that a lot. What a cute card size. Trust me, I'm sure I will be making more mini slimline cards. So I kind of cut apart my original colored package here to get this bow for the bone. So I figured I had to make a card with that package stamp, with that gift stamp. So for card number 9 here, we have another happy birthday card. Let's get the party started. Another little punny card here with a fun puppy and 2 presents. Now I stamped these on some Neenah 80-pound cardstock using, again, the Inktense black ink. And with minimal masking, I stamped all 3 of these together and then colored them with my Spectrum Noir alcohol markers. And then I did partial die cutting 3 times to cut this whole image out as one piece. I put the puppy die on the puppy and only cut him to there. I put a package die on this package and only cut it to there, and put a package die on the bottom package and only cut it to there. Connected the little ends of my die cuts, and this looks like one complete stamp all stamped together. I really love that white border surrounding all of that. For the background here, for my wood floor, I used a penny black wood floors die. I die cut that out of the same Neenah cardstock, colored that up with my alcohol markers, glued that to the center of my white card base, stamped the sentiments using Inktense black ink, and added, of course, some clear embossing powder to that, a few more of those clay sprinkles, and we've got a regular party that the puppy is just waiting to get started. Let's get the party started. I love this card. He's so cute. It was great fun to give him something to actually jump on or push against or whatever. Let's get the party started. It's a pun, kind of. Now, I really do like these clay sprinkles. Anytime you give me an embellishment that's not necessarily glittery or gemmy or sequiny, I think they're great fun and very useful. So I thought I would definitely have to make a shaker card. And then I also haven't used the light mint ink cube that came in our kit. So for our last card, of course, a new shaker card, and we've got You Take the Cake with this fun shaker card where all of the shaker pieces stack on top of each other so they don't overlap. I thought that was a great fun idea. Now, I die cut the window and all of the frames, my background, everything with some Hero Arts Infinity rectangle dies. And then I colored all of the frames, even my cake, I colored all of those with the light mint dye ink cube. Added some acetate behind the window, glued my frames in place, added a thin mat of that same light mint ink behind that. I did have to cut the center out of that mat to keep my window open. I laid in a bunch of the clay sprinkles and only added a single layer of foam tape around this. So there's only a single layer that prevents those sprinkles from getting on top of each other. So they stay right in place. I think sprinkles on a cake are perfect. They go right along together. The cake I stamped with intense black ink on some of that same light mint ink and colored that with a white gel pen and a gold gel pen. I thought that worked very well. Green and gold and white and lots of brightly colored sparkles. You take the cake. A nice birthday card without any pets. So that's my 10 cards using the My Monthly Hero June 2021 kit. I do believe this is my first stamp set in my stash with puppies and kittens. I just adore these little images. We've got lots of birthday cards this month. We also have a nice encouragement card, a pet sympathy card, a terrifically cheerful hello card. I could use those balloon stamps on any card. I think the cake stamp is very handy to have. And of course, those puppies and kittens are adorable. I did forget somehow. Now, I actually stamped it and cut it out, but I did forget that little fish. I forgot that little fish. It never occurred to me where to use it, whether it got lost on my desk or whatever, but I still have that little fish. So I almost used every stamp and die in this stamp set. Close, but no cigar. This is a totally cute group of cards. It's always a good thing to keep my birthday stash stocked up. Now, this kit is still available at Hero Arts. If you're looking to supplement your stash with some cute kittens and puppies, I'd grab a kit for yourself right away. My Monthly Hero kits are always a great value. And if you do go shopping with Hero Arts, please use my links in the description down below. It helps support this channel and is always truly appreciated. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me here today. Your support and encouragement never goes unnoticed. Please remember to like me, list me, pin me, post me, share me with all of your friends. Don't forget to help control the pet population by having your pet spayed or neutered. And as always, I send you and yours cheers and chuckles and happy crafting. For more detailed information, better pictures, and product links, please visit my website at cardcutups.com.